It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the midday show. And 12:16 in Puerto Rican time. It's 12 o'clock.
All I think of is G-Man saying, "This is Freddie's world, we all just live in it."
No, that's Freddie's world.
This is Freddie's world
Give
that
me
we
that
all
crap.
just live in it.
Did you see what we went through this morning?
It was Freddie's world, yes.
It wasn't Freddie's
You know
world.
Wayne's world? This was Freddie's world.
Absolutely not. I got here early, set up the board with Mona Lisa.
Yes.
Then I find out that Danielle is AWOL. And G-Man is AWOL minus.
Yes.
He's showing up when he can because he had to go to the beach first to run 4 or 5 miles. That's why he's dressed that way. And then I come in here, I set up the board. Thank God that you got Jay to show up early.
Oh, wait.
She saved the day.
What was that bet we had?
No.
Suddenly
you
not
lose.
because I won the bet?
No, it was
doesn't
after,
count?
It was 10, it was after 10:01. So you lose the bet. But that's okay. It's all good. All those kids got together. Now we're having a Spanish newsletter being put together. I'm very proud with Andre the Giant is putting that together. And he's opening up the Impulso Latino YouTube separate.
We have one, don't we?
No, we don't. And you told us that we spent all morning looking for it. No, it's on Yellow Ant.
No, we have one.
Well, then we have to look.
It's there.
Okay.
They just don't, the logo is white with
It's
an
Dawn's
O.
world, and we live in it.
It's there. It's under all of our YouTube pages.
All right, so we're doing that. So we did that show, and now we're doing this show. And then this afternoon, we got a bunch of other shows. We got
Yes, we
Sally
do.
and Jay Armin doing their thing inside the brain of an artist.
Inside the mind of an artist with Frank.
And you brought poor Frank out here at 6 o'clock in the morning to paint Mary and get her beautiful
Look
for
how
Friday.
beautiful she looks, though.
She does. Stop putting the water too close.
That,
That water was never that close. Somebody moved it over. That's all I'm going to say for now. I didn't do that because I knew that was going to happen. So now that's ready to go. And then we have a new show starting. Unique Television. What is it? Where's Michelle? Unique Television what?
unique talent.
Unique Talent Television? Yes. Unique Talent Television with Paul Berman. And make sure you say Berman because he likes his last name said. And Michelle Chin.
Okay.
Which is really cool. That's going to be taped today, and then we're going to air that Monday night, 8 to 9 o'clock on South Florida Oldies. And by the way, for those of you watching, we are on South Florida Oldies, even though Dawn never mentions it. Never, ever mentions it.
I feel like you've hit me with the bus and run me over 3 times.
And I'm going to put it in reverse and make it 4 times.
Yeah, I'd stop if I were you.
No, you
Yes.
you told
Stop
me,
if I were you.
you said to me that I could unload today, so I'm unloading.
No.
What are we doing next Friday?
Next Friday, we have our first fundraiser event for the Amp Media Futures Foundation, and I think we're going to have a lot more people than we even anticipated, which is pretty exciting. I know you don't think anybody's coming, but Impulso Latino, I think Janet's got 7 to a dozen people. Lucky's inviting everyone she
8.
knows. All of our hosts are coming. The donations have been incredible. The financial contributions that everyone has been so kind to do is just blowing me away. I mean, our producers, interns, their parents, and they've been donating, and the community, they're just donating and donating. It's going to be incredible, so come on out, join our fund. It's the first fundraiser we've ever done. So we've got MG Stout, Mary Gallagher Stout. She's going to be doing a live painting here. So, Allison, I think you're going to like those. So in that type of venue, very colorful, very moving, we're all going to put some of our fingerprints on it somehow to get the energy of the studio on this, and that's going to be auctioned off.
You don't have any fingerprints.
Virgin Voyages, they're donating a 5-day, 4-night adult-only cruise. So you get to pick the cruise line you want. Virgin Voyages is the travel agency itself. So you get to pick the cruise line, which is pretty cool. So 5 days, 4 nights, that's going to be going up for a silent auction. And great raffles, Laura Sanders, Seminole Hard Rock, Coconut Creek. We've got 2 remote boats that just came in yesterday that were donated, which is, I don't know, if anyone who likes remote control boats, then you're going to love these also.
I want to buy one.
Frank donated some books. So we've got the COVID Murders, thanks to Frank Agrifola. Jay is donating 3 of his paintings. Sally's got a painting. So a lot of cool stuff. We've got workout clothes, we've got nail salon, we've got training sessions. So a lot of cool stuff that people put together. We even have Wawa merch
Yes,
that they
Pump
sent
6.
us.
Pump
That
6.
Wawa sent us. So that's pretty cool also.
Pump
So
6.
come out, have some fun, have some drinks, have some hors d'oeuvres, some holiday cheer. When I planned the state, I didn't think about it as a holiday event. I just thought of it that
Friday the 13th?
I just wanted to get it in before the end of the year, and Friday the 13th. Listen, we got married on October 13th.
My birthday,
Your birthday?
October 13th.
See?
That's
There
my
you go.
that's my divorce date.
Sally, tell them there are no coincidences. So Frank brought us the Virgin Mary on October 13th, and she would come every 13th to Rosa with her message. So when we chose December 13th, I thought,
I got divorced that day, by the
you
way.
know what December 12th is?
The day before the 13th.
Exactly, just like that. So a lot of cool stuff. It just, when God has a plan, you just got to go with it.
I also want to thank Cassandra for letting us be part of the car raffle. I think we raised $700 for it. And that's not bad, being that we learned about it because of
In
Fitzy.
October, right? We had about a month, so that was pretty cool.
And they start in March. So if we had from March until now, we would have done even better.
So I know next year she wants to start
We're going to
promoting
start
it
early. Yeah, early. So I want to thank Cassandra for giving us that opportunity.
So a lot of good stuff. All right, we're going to get right into it because we've got a busy show, and tomorrow is the end of Medicare open enrollment. So we've got Claire Goyette joining us, Miss Medicare Claire, at 1 o'clock. So shall we chit-chat with Allison a little bit? I feel like I'm going to have dreams about you, Manzi. Yeah.
He's the man, the myth, and the legend. All right, let's start with
All
Allison.
good stuff. So we've got Allison Lipnack, and I've known Allison for years and years. You met Allison a few years ago up in Delray. She was selling promotional items at the time. And she gave us a speaker, and we were talking about doing some promo pieces when we were at our other studio.
Oh, I remember Allison. Hey, how you doing?
That was a long time ago.
It was over 6 years ago,
It
right?
was.
Because we've been here 5.
And Allison and I grew up together, so we've known our families for years. And
You wait 6 years to bring Allison back?
she's been busy, let me tell you.
6 years worth of busy.
She's a busy woman, but I finally reached out to her because everyone in the community knows you because she moved, she's got a new business, she's kind of changing it up for herself at this later stage in life, which I think a lot of women do. So I said, would you be willing to share your journey? And she's like, I'm all in. And then she comes and says, we're interviewing one of her friends next week.
Yes.
I said, we are? So we are. So actually, that's her
thank you.
roommate, which is pretty cool.
Even better.
So welcome back.
Thanks.
It's been a long time.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really excited to have you because the holidays are a time when people are either staying at their jobs, waiting for their holiday bonus, and they're not happy, or they're looking for a new job, which is hard. And Freddie always says, do you want to work for the man or do you want to work for yourself? So that's kind of where we're at with you. And, you know, when we moved in here, we had no idea. I kind of went into a nervous breakdown. We couldn't find a place. We had this whole studio, and I think God sent messages of you moving, and I went, no. And he sent it again, and we went, no. And by the third time, the 2x4 hit us in the head and said, you're going to take this studio because I'm going to remove everything out of your way until you take it. And, of course, here we are, and now we're busting at the seams, and we've got a foundation fundraiser, and the great landlord, and the studio has been a godsend, no pun intended. And that's kind of the story that you shared with us.
Yes.
So you want to tell everyone what's going on?
Yes. So, gosh, where do I begin? I will begin. Actually, it's funny how today I'm doing this because it's been exactly 1 year from today. I still am part-time. I still am part-time in the promotional product world. I'll always be because that's something I've been doing for, 28 years now.
Wow.
But I was working for a company, and I was working remote, and I was let go from my job. It was Friday, and that
A
was
year
my
ago?
Friday. Exactly a year ago today. It's just interesting how this is all happening right now.
We didn't plan this, by the
No,
way.
we didn't plan it. So, so that happened, and where about a month later, I got a phone call that where I was living, the landlord was selling it. I was renting it for the last 12 years. And so that came. And then, not to get into too many details, I ended up ending a very long-term relationship as well. And this was all in a matter of 2 months.
The trifecta.
Yes, it was the trifecta. But it was the three things that wasn't very happy in my life that needed some change. And so so while I was in the promotional product industry, I've always had a deep passion for cooking and for health. And I started my health journey many, many years ago, over like 30 years ago, and my brother became a chiropractor. I learned that the body can heal itself. And so I was fascinated by that. And anything when it came to health and nutrition and natural health, I was like a sponge. And so I loved all of it. So while I was actually working for the promotional product company, I part-time was cooking for a couple that I'm friends with. He has an illness, and I had got on my own health journey, a holistic health journey, for 2 years. And so I started cooking very clean and very healthy and organic for them. And I was loving it. I absolutely loved it. And I was like, I wish I could do this full time, but I never even imagined in my wildest dreams that I could. So fast forward, after I got let go from my job, that's kind of what happened. Was I started to follow my passion, and I have a dear friend that is a personal chef, and just happened to call me out of the blue and said, hey, and I see that you're cooking a lot, because I posted a lot on Facebook. And I said, yeah, and I really could use some help. And so that's really how it started. And then I have another dear friend who's in the community in Fort Lauderdale, she has a catering company and a cooking school. And I called her, and I said, I'm looking for work. And she said, come on in.
Wow.
And it's been a year since I've been working for her,
Is it
too.
Lenore?
So,
Wow.
yes.
Oh, Lenore?
Yes.
Oh, we know her too.
Yeah, so I've been working
That's
for
great.
her for now a year, only part-time that I work for her.
She's great,
So
though.
the majority of what I do is there's two things, I'm a personal chef, so I go into people's homes and I cook meal and prepare meals for them. The difference with what I do is I cook with only organic, very clean ingredients. I don't cook with refined sugars, I don't cook with seed oils, I don't use anything that's processed, and usually all my sauces and different things, I make everything homemade. So everything is very healthy. So when somebody opens up the refrigerator and they take out food, they know it is good for their body. And then I also help coach people. So I teach people also how to grocery shop for healthy, clean ingredients. Because when you go into a grocery store now, it's horrible. Mm-hmm. And, the statistics are showing now 75 to like 90% of all disease right now is coming from our diet. And so I can go on and on and on and
Meaning
on about
inflammation or
Yes,
Everything.
that causes inflammation.
like
so
diabetes
just
and
Everything.
every disease that you can think
Yeah.
of, now they have this super cancer that's coming out, that it's just these, younger people are dying of cancer, where that's not, so people are only living into their, our kids are they're saying they're only going to live until their 70s. They're not going to go to 80 and 90. And the way things are now with diet and the way things are sprayed with pesticides that's legal in the United States, I mean, these are all things that people are unaware of. We're told that whole grains are good for your health, and it's the complete opposite. That they're not good for your health because they're sprayed with glyphosate, which is an ingredient in Roundup. So again, I can go on, and everything is so highly processed.
so out of all of your discomfort and a lot of discomfort, you're on the
Yes.
other side of it.
I am on the other
How
side
does
of
it
it.
feel?
It feels amazing because I followed my passion. And that was one thing, my favorite quote of all time is when you follow your passion, success will always follow you. And I truly believe that is exactly what happened. I feel like what Dawn was saying, it's like God was tapping me on the shoulder, and then finally he just took a 2x4 and said, Allison, wake up, come on.
Yeah.
So he pulled the things that I was unhappy, and he turned, what they say is they turn your mess into your message. And that's the God's honest truth. So now I get to wake up every morning and I get to do what I'm passionate about. I get to help people and watch them get healthy. I mean, I have clients that their whole life is changing because they're losing inflammation in their body just from the foods and recipes I'm giving them. So it really is. It's amazing, and I'm just I'm very, very happy. It was such a blessing in disguise. You can't even believe.
So getting that trifecta, I'm sorry about the relationship part, but the whole thing had a meaning. It put you on the right path, and now you're enjoying your life and you're helping others.
Yes.
You're playing it forward. I just want to see what the next year is going to bring, because there are bigger, better, more. You get paid back 7 times when you do what you're doing.
Yes.
And it's going to come another 7 times. I love the aspect that you took advantage of the shot and you put your foot forward and you were going into the unknown, right? 28 years. Anything after that is unknown.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you had enough confidence in yourself.
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure at the beginning you were like, ugh, I'm not feeling good right now. And you got up and you went and you made it happen. You are a success story for a lot of young people in this country right now.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. At the time, I didn't feel like that.
That's okay.
Yeah. But
okay.
the truth is the other really important piece of it is you have to have really good quality people around you, because when you're down at your lowest mark, it is those that pick you up.
That's
and they
right.
help. They not only pick you up, but
That's
they
right.
really help you believe in you. They see things. I have friends and people that saw things in me that I didn't see within myself. And so, and also, like you were saying, when it comes back tenfold, when you give out good energy,
get it
it
back.
comes back. And so I feel like my life is the way it is now is because of what I've given out into the universe all these years.
That's right. Amen
So
to that.
I really, truly believe that.
And it's interesting you say that, because in here, the people that we've met, from Frank, he opened up Pandora's box. He's another story of all the things that came in behind him. But just Jay, we've known Jay for almost 9 years, I think. He's been with us all over the place. This one came 2 years ago.
I could already tell she's like a soulmate. I can feel it instantaneously, her energy.
But it's a
She's
very
beautiful.
similar story to yours. Even Dawn's story is very similar to yours. The kids coming into the reality of what we do here is a blessing. They bring the energy. They lift this place. Right? I've been doing this forever. I don't carry any of the weight that they do. It's not about what I do. It's about what you give.
Yes.
And I think that the lesson here that you're learning now is that the more you give, the more you get back over and over again, and the opportunities are waiting for you.
Yeah. And also, I think another thing is, nowadays it's so different than when we were growing up, obviously, with social media and comparing yourself to other people and things like that, that a big thing is self-love, to really love yourself enough to go for different things, because the world can be very crazy right now. And if you believe in yourself, and that's why it's so important to follow your passion. When you have a gift, it's really important to follow that and to not listen to all the naysayers out there that you can't do something or whatever. You find the people that will help you. And believe it or not, most people out there are kind and are willing to help. They really are. If you're genuine and it's something that, if it comes from your heart and you're genuine and you really want to do something, you'll find a way, and people will surround you to help you find that way too.
It's funny you say that, because the more negative people those individuals are that are negative, the more they give. You just got to get by that layer. You got to get by them smacking you and say, okay, now let's do something else. And I've proven that to Dawn a number of times, because everybody inside really just wants to be loved.
Yes.
They just don't know how to ask for it. And they're like elephants, squashing everything and seeing what your reaction is. Okay, so you squash it, we brush it off and start again.
Yeah.
And that is the secret of life. I wish guys that run countries understood that, because they think they got to man up and they got to put the chest and all this, and they got to be all the. That's not the way you run anything.
No.
You want people to be people.
Vulnerability is so it shows such strength, but we're taught the opposite.
That's right. We come in thinking that we have to be all
Yeah.
hard, and we have to do it all way, and yada, yada. If we were able to, last night I had an interesting conversation. I had dinner with a doctor who was sitting in the room. He's a doctor. He has diabetes, 3 medications. He eats everything. He doesn't care. He has a 6.5. That's all he cares about. And I said to him, Doc, why are you eating that? He says, because I want to. I says, okay, no problem. And he's all hard. He got mad at me because I decided to go in another direction to let my body heal. to eat the right foods,
Yeah.
not eat the junk that I used to do. And he says to me, and what kind of life is that? I says, it's pretty good. I feel pretty good. I said, tell you what, I'll race you up and down the stairs and see who can get. He says, I'm 70 years old. I says, I'll give you a head start. And he didn't think that was funny. And he's a medical doctor for over 50 years. At the end of the night, he said, well, no, you know what, Freddie, maybe I'll try it your way. Because everybody wants
Introduce
to be.
him to me. I'll coach him.
Well, I mean, everybody wants to be loved. You just got to get by all that hard stuff.
Yeah.
That difficult, let me be tougher than you, and yada, yada, yada. And let me put you in your place. And, you know, this noise that they make. And it really doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, real people are real people.
But it takes that push
Yes.
in that was really hard times. Sometimes there's actually to believe in ourselves enough because we have to. Otherwise, what are you going to do? I mean, Jay, when you lost your wife, right? Or when Barbara was so sick, you had to find a way.
You know, you really do. And I have to say that that right here is one of the biggest supports that I've had all year since that happened. And you really find out who your real friends are. You find friends, and you learn to live a life that you can, you know, you can start over. You know, it's not a thing where you just give up. You just you can go on and find a new life.
You find a new happiness.
Jay,
And I feel I've done that.
Jay lived with so much pain with his wife. I used to meet his wife over at Weight Watchers, and I used to see this man, and he was agonizing because she wasn't feeling well. She was feeling bad, and he had to live through that. You know, it's like the caregiver taking care of parents and stuff, and you lived this thing, and it was killing him. But this new and improved Jay, no disrespect to Barb, this new and improved, this guy has changed. He's changed everything. Even his energy levels have risen. The Friday show that they do is amazing. It's amazing. So people all over. I heard you guys were invited to this thing up in Boynton tonight. You told Jalucky you were going?
No, I'm not going,
But you told her you were
yeah,
going.
she knows.
You told her you were going? Look at his face. I'll give you she told me you guys were invited. I guess she invited you. But it's just a whole different, and in his works, if you look at the works around him, they've come to life. I mean, he has works all around us that are amazing. If you look at the new stuff that he's doing, there's soul coming out. It actually
Well, you know, I
speaks
was
to
going to say, what's happening is you have an angel up there. So that's the part of the
I'm aware
reason.
of that.
And I always say now, because Dawn knew my mother, obviously. I grew up with Dawn. And I truly believe my mother, it was orchestrating all of this. She's like, all right, Allison, I couldn't
didn't like the guy you were
direct you
dating."
from down there, but I sure as hell could direct you from up here. And I'm gonna change things up for you because I love you and because I want to see the best for you. And I swear she's orchestrated it all.
Probably true.
I feel like I'm listening to my show because I even say follow your passion. How many times do I say that? Everything that you're saying
know.
is.
There's
I
no
put it like that.
coincidence that we're here
Well,
together.
That's another thing we always say.
Well, I love the
too,
fact that
yes.
your birthday's October 13th, and that's the day
Yeah.
we got married. And it was just coincidentally that day when I was telling someone the story. They said, "Why are you getting the Virgin Mary?" And you know, why this statue? And I went through all of Frank's book as to the 13th, and Frank's memoirs, and how on the 13th there was always an apparition of the Virgin Mary came. And I went, "Oh my gosh." It happens to be, we got her, it was a Friday. It was on Friday, October 13th last year. Frank, you remember that?
That's interesting.
So now we're going on to having our event on December 13th. And none of that was, and the more I'm talking about it, the more that these pieces seem to fall into place.
Yes.
Frank doesn't say
That's what
much
happens.
verbally, but he says a lot through his smile, through his books. This story, I think, is just,
Well, Frank had introduced the statue to us on the show, and that she was looking for a home. And I think he had some other interesting parties that wanted the statue. So I said to Frank,
There was two churches that wanted the statue, and then they changed their minds. And the statue was sitting outside
the
a
statue?
warehouse in
in the
Florida.
lobby.
Oh, okay.
And I said to Frank, can I have it? And he says, if you can come get it. Now that statue weighs what, 500 pounds?
500 pounds.
So the kid Andrew, I call him Gato, he's in there. Me, G, and Gato went down to pick it up, and we couldn't move her. So Gato decides, he says, everybody stand back. And he lifted this thing by himself and put it on the truck. You remember this?
Yeah.
This was craziness. I said,
Wow.
what? So
And
I
then he
said,
helped lift it off that truck and bring it in here.
Right.
and they were going to
Bring
bring
it
it
in
in here. We broke boards and everything trying to get it in
So
here. And she
interesting.
sits there in her glory. And there's a lot of souls. You talk about souls. There's a lot of souls in that piece. But meeting him, after that happened, we started to meet a whole lot of people at this realm, at this frequency, at this level.
Yeah, Virgin Mary appeared in that statue.
That's a big thing. Like, but just what you're saying is when you're on a different frequency, you attract the same frequency.
That's
Please
right.
listen to my last show and the show before and the show before
You and
that.
I should
It's
just
totally
have our
about-
own
you
show.
You see so much more when you lift your frequency.
Yeah.
What other people don't on a
So,
lower frequency.
and I can attest to that because so for the first 2 months after all of that was going on with me, I was in a really dark place.
Yeah.
A very dark place, to where a friend of mine, she hooked me up with somebody. She actually, I bought the book, The Dark Night of the Soul, because I had to figure out, like, what the heck is going on with me? Because I'd never been in that place before. And one day I woke up, I got out of bed, I sat up, and I said, you know what, Allison? You know this stuff. You know how to get out of this. And I started writing down on a piece of paper exactly what I wanted, the statements exactly of what I wanted my life to look like. Some of the statements were, I attract like-minded people. I'm open to creative opportunities. All these different things, but I said it in a positive form as if it's already happened and it's happening already currently. And if I tell you, that was the energy shift, and that's when everything changed.
That was the sign. Sometimes you got to hit rock bottom before you find out that there is a ceiling, and you go for it.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. I can
Yeah.
relate to that. I can relate to listening not once but twice. I was told the same morning, the same stories, because and it's not about me. And I'll take that to the grave. It's no longer about me. I've had my run with money and kids and wives and all that stuff. Now it's about the act of giving, but you got to give from the heart. You got to be pure in what you say you're going to do. And if you're not pure, it's going to bite you. It's really going to hurt you, because you're going to lose that attraction with people. We did a piece yesterday with somebody also, we haven't seen her in a long time, right? Yesterday with the little doggy. And did you see today, Channel 2 News decided that with all the war and everything else and this being the holiday season, they're going to do a positive show.
Wow.
And they got rid of all the negative. There was nothing
What a
negative
concept.
about the news on CBS, online this morning. And I say to myself, it's funny because we did that yesterday. We tried to change it
Try to
up.
do that every day.
Well, but not like we personally announced it. We put a piece, the news and everything. And part 2 is here today with her story, which is a positive story. This is a tough month for a lot of people. We lose loved ones. My father's birthday is in November, same day as her son and father's. We lose loved ones. Or if you have diabetes, the food, you have to watch yourself. It isn't easy unless you do it right.
Right. Well, they always say that this time of year, everybody starts getting sick.
Yeah.
You get the flu and you get this and you get that. But really, if you think about it, most people, the month of December is you're eating a lot more extra sugar.
Yeah.
You're drinking a lot more extra alcohol. You're around a lot of people and you're not taking care of your immune system. So, of course, you're going to get sick. I'm the complete opposite. I don't get sick. Knock on
Amazing.
wood.
All right, so people
Knock on
can
wood.
contact you for coaching, for food, for promotional items. I guess you still do that on the side?
Well, yeah, that's on the side. This is
All right,
more
so
for
food.
my yeah. It's
right.
yeah, my company's called Thrive As You Age.
Ah,
And my website is thrivingasyouage.com.
All right, let's take a quick break. Allison, thank you so much for joining
You're
us.
welcome.
Welcome to Stay. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk to the guys and Sally, see what's happening. Sally was here last night as well.
Sally's always here.
It was a busy day yesterday. It was such a busy night last night. I went home. I couldn't even see straight. I was like, oh my God. I didn't get home till after 9. It was a long day. Anyway, more to come on the other side of this commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Your True Oldies Listener's Guide. Listening in the Palm Beaches? That's 95.9 FM. On the Treasure Coast? You want 106.9 FM. In Boca? It's 95.3 FM. We've got Fort Lauderdale and Broward County covered with 96.9 FM. And you can always hear us anywhere at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
Amp Media Productions is excited to announce our expansion into North Miami. With our experienced team of radio and TV professionals, we are dedicated to bringing North Miami the highest quality audio and visual production services. Whether you need radio or television commercials, podcasts, music videos, or audio and visual storytelling, we can provide the solutions to help you reach your goals. Our team is reliable, innovative, and creative, and we're ready to help you develop the perfect product. With our competitive rates and personalized service, you can trust that your project is in the best hands. Contact us today to get started on your project. 866-224-5422.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-920-3819.
Frank A. Ruffolo, a renowned author and screenwriter known for his books such as 10048, Blue Falcon, Memoir of a Soldier, and his latest, Samuel of Sarah. Check out his website, frankaruffolo.com, for more info or purchase his books on Amazon.
Amp Media Futures Foundation is a non-for-profit organization dedicated to providing college students with immersive opportunities in media production, marketing, business skills, and communication.
Interns will learn professional workflow skills in editing, video and radio broadcasting, public relations, digital media, graphic curriculum, and access to equipment to make a positive impact.
Amp Media Productions is a full-service production house with a variety of shows ranging from the Brooklyn Cafe show.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a very busy Wednesday.
Sarah Spiritual.
Right here on the Oldies station, you're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
Call me Zena.
Teach by example, and that's what I try to do all the time, to teach by example.
You know, like Artist Loft.
Using that term more. Yeah, lofties, yeah.
And Gypsy Soul.
They love music. It's like their favorite thing to go to.
I teach like preschool up to 12th grade.
Yeah, nice.
You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Amp Media Productions. Please like and subscribe to all of our shows.
I want to be a first class champagne, please.
Giant comfort.
Yeah, that's good. We offer opportunities to excel in the field of TV film production, social media management, video editing, set design, graphic design, sound engineering, journalism, and many more useful tools to help you land a career in the media business.
To volunteer or be a part of our team, or to make a donation of any size, please visit us at ampfutures.org. Help us to empower college students to create a positive impact with immersive hands-on experiences in media production. Help us amplify the future.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
On December 6, 1877, Thomas Edison publicly demonstrated his groundbreaking invention, the phonograph, marking a significant milestone in the history of sound technology. The phonograph was the first device capable of recording and reproducing sound, an innovation that laid the foundation for the modern music and audio recording industries. On December 6, 1956, Nelson Mandela and 155 other anti-apartheid activists were arrested in a coordinated police raid on the headquarters of the African National Congress, ANC, and its allied organizations. This significant event became known as the beginning of the treason trial, a pivotal moment in South Africa's fight against apartheid. On December 6, 1984, France conducted a nuclear test at the Mururoa Atoll in the South Pacific, as part of its continued series of nuclear tests. The test was part of France's broader nuclear weapons program, which it maintained despite international criticism. On December 6, 1992, Jerry Rice, the legendary wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers, set an NFL record by catching his 101st career touchdown pass during a 27-3 win over the Miami Dolphins at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. On December 6, 1995, Michael Jackson collapsed while rehearsing for his upcoming HBO special in New York City. The collapse occurred after a long day of intense rehearsals for what was to become his Michael Jackson, one-night-only performance, scheduled to be broadcast on HBO.
And we're back. All right, where are we going?
A lot of conversations happening. Do we have a camera over on Michelle and Paul? Yeah, we do. Do they have mics? They don't have mics. All right, so
There's no mics.
all right, so they'll have to get a mic.
Caveman
and
got no mics out.
They can wave in the process. They can wave. Then we've got Medicare Claire is going to be joining us today at 1 o'clock. So let's go to
Let's go to Frank.
Frank and Jay. And Sally, I believe, because you guys fill us in on what's happening on your show today. Jay?
Oh, you're talking to me? Okay.
Jay, Sally.
Yeah, I didn't know who she was talking to either.
Yeah,
Jay, Sally, Frank, whoever wants to answer.
No, today we are talking to Frank Ruffalo, and he's going to be our special guest today, talking about his career and his books that he's written, and we're going to learn more about what he's written and why he's written and everything about it. So I'm very excited about that. I'm looking forward to that.
Frank the Healer.
Yeah, we're going to be discussing my new book, the latest book, COVID Murders.
Well, we have to talk about that, Frank. I'm excited.
You did not always write, though. How many years have you been writing?
Since 2007.
When did you retire?
2010.
So that was kind of your next phase in life.
That's my next phase.
To do this, and it's a whole different phase of spirituality,
different.
right? Did you ever see it coming?
I never wanted to be a writer. I had no passion to be a writer until one day it just happened, and then the voices in my head started, and here we are. 15
Incredible.
books, 3 screenplays, TV show. I'm busy
And
now
all of
than I
this
was when I was
happened.
working.
All of this happened when you decided you didn't want to be a writer.
All of this happened. All of this happened when I decided to be a writer.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that's pretty good.
But it's not like you were a writer your whole life, and now you have this culmination of a lifetime. This is
I
second
didn't
time.
start till 2007. Started writing, so that's.
And how is it that the things you wrote about back then are occurring now? Is there a coincidence?
I got the gift, I guess. I have people on my shoulder.
Talk about angels.
Yeah. So a lot of things a lot of visions that I get, or things, premonitions I get, are in all my books. So.
It keeps him going.
Well, the interesting aspect to all of this, as I said before, he brought with him a statue that you used to help somebody heal people. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that for those people that don't know that background?
My wife and I were volunteers at a Virgin Mary apparition site that was in Hollywood, Florida from 1995 to around 2017. And at the beginning, there used to be On the 13th of every month, she would give a message from the Virgin Mary, and there would be 3,000 or 4,000 people there. So the Hollywood police would shut the street. They put barricades up and shut the street. Of course, all the neighbors got all messed up, and they weren't happy, but what are you gonna do? And she would give the message, and then people would go there to be healed. We had a lot of people went there that were terminally ill, that were cured, or just arthritis that was cured, or just minor stuff that was cured. And she couldn't bless everybody, not 3,000 people. It would take all afternoon to bless 3,000 people. So the Virgin Mary through Rosa, gave 2 of the volunteers the ability to anoint with the Holy Spirit. I had to be blessed by a priest, and I was one of the volunteers. So I probably anointed thousands of people in my life. So that's how that started. And then I started writing. I was told by the visionary that I had two archangels that were always guiding me. So it was Archangel Uriel and Gabriel. Uriel is the wisdom of God, and Gabriel is the messenger. So, and then most of the messages are in my books, and a lot of that stuff that I've written has come to fruition. So I don't know what you want to call that, but insight.
Insight, vision. Yeah, this becomes a very spiritual home,
Yeah.
especially during the holidays.
And then after the visionary passed away and the house was sold, a lot of the religious articles had to be taken out of the house. And the statue that's now in the lobby of this fantastic studio we're in was the statue that was outside of at the operation site in the backyard. It was all white. It was damaged. It was sitting at a warehouse in Fort Lauderdale outside. And one of the other ex-volunteers called me and said, listen, I've got the statue. I've got a couple of churches that are interested. Could you come over and fix it? Clean it up. So it was probably a year and a half ago, during the summer. I would go there, a couple times a week, because I had to make arrangements for the people that owned the warehouse to make sure that they knew I was there. And cleaned up the statue, fixed the repair, restored it, painted it for the churches, and then the churches didn't want it. So the statue sat there, wow, that's a couple months, outside, in the back of a warehouse, in the back of a trailer in Fort Lauderdale. And of course, I've been coming here, spoke to Fred. Fred said, oh, you got a statue? Yeah, can I have it? I said, yeah, go get it. You want it? Let me know. You got to pick it up. I said, it weighs 500 pounds.
I remember.
So I met him there on the 13th, told him where it was, met him there and his crew, and Andrew, and we tried to manually shift that statue over in the back of a pickup truck. I mean, man, like I said, it's 500 pounds.
It would not move.
And finally, we got it. His big gorilla lifted it up, and we put it in the back of the pickup truck, and then I followed him up here. We offloaded it. Then I had to touch it up while it was here, and now it's in the statue. And now it's in the lobby.
And now she's here.
And the Virgin Mary appeared in that statue. So.
A lot of great non-coincidences. And yes, the 13th is always a special day. It's amazing how it just keeps coming over and over again.
It's always a day of giving, right?
Right? Things that you're always told it's not a lucky day, you shouldn't do things. For us, it's been an incredible number. Yeah. So we've been very blessed.
We have.
You guys are going to have a great show then.
Yeah, excited to interview.
Me too.
Yeah.
Sally, there are no coincidences.
There are no
no coincidences at all.
Yeah, so everybody make sure you tune into the show, and you're gonna really enjoy this one. And not that you don't enjoy our other ones, but this one is going to be particularly interesting.
I also want to take a moment to congratulate Frank's partner, Richard. They got married on Monday. Richard Sosa from...
they got married.
Artist left. Yeah, they got married, he and Deborah, so congratulations to the Sosa family.
Wow. And Frank has a show that he airs here every other Thursday night, correct? And next Thursday is...
Yes.
It's
the
their
artist
show.
loft.
So
And thank you to Chris for those amazing Christmas cookies. They are absolutely, wow.
amazing.
He says it takes an entire day to make them.
Entire
but
day.
I have to try them.
They're, yes.
I'm going to have to
There's
have
actually
one.
a few left. They're delicious.
They're sitting right next to me.
No, not you.
Grab them quickly.
You guys let me know when Claire gets on. Thank you.
But it's an amazing story to follow what Frank does. Not only what he does, but what he brought. Because when we came in here, Dawn and I have been trying for 5 years to change the name of the studio. We're going to call it Amp Square TV Studios, right?
Anything, yeah.
And we try, and we try. Tried 3 times. And for whatever reason you can think of, it failed. So we said, you know what? Why change the name? It's been like this for 40 years. Why change the name? So now the studio has 100 different tags to it. They call it the Cafe Studio, they call it the Amp Studio, they call it the New Dawn Theater. I mean, it all depends on the day of the week. But it never changed simply because it wasn't meant to be disturbed. And that's how I feel about that statue. It's going to be interesting to see what the future holds. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this, but it's interesting
Where
to
you
see. I don't know where I'm going. I didn't know I was coming here.
Okay.
But it's interesting to see all the things that go to it. And there's no coincidence because we actually, the wall, don't put a letter out about this wall and having sponsors for the foundation, which we only got approved March.
Yes.
And even the approval, now normally if I want to C3, it takes 6 months to get. Dawn got it in 28 days, which is, I've never heard of that in my life. So I made sure that the wall that she's talking about, the screen, is in the lobby in front of Mary. And says, you know something, I am very superstitious. When I was on a hitting streak, I didn't change my socks. I do things, if it works, I ain't changing it. Just superstitious. So I'm thinking, I'm buckling here that Mary will look over maybe the foundation and good things will happen. Because everybody's telling me, why are you putting it here? I says, I know why. But a lot of this that I hear comes from that man sitting over there. And I just asked him a question because they were telling me something else. And I asked him and he filled in the blanks for me. And it's just, sometimes you just have to pay attention to things that you don't know are coming until they're on top of you. And that doesn't mean that they didn't tell you about this before. You just didn't listen. And they made it so you sat down and you did listen. And look at the greatness that has come from that. So it's been wonderful watching Sally and Jay do the thing on Friday. We have a lot of fun with that show. I always try to throw them a curveball because they never know who they're interviewing until that morning of that day. True?
Right. I know. Today is very unusual that we actually know who our guest is before we actually interview him.
Well, because he decided that come Friday to paint up, make Mary beautiful because we wanted to clean her up for Friday's event. So it just worked out that he was here. And
no coincidence.
No coincidence.
No coincidence. Nope, that's true.
It just that's the way.
It's just amazing how it just does what it's
I love it
supposed to
that
do,
everyone's talking
right?
about all this.
This
Yeah,
is
because when I
everything,
first came,
Sally.
like over 2 years ago, it was kind of hush-hush at that point. But today, it's like everybody that comes into the studio, I feel, it's like what I do on my show.
Well, the conversations that you have and all the other things that you guys do,
Right.
4 years ago, nobody did it. Nobody would have the strength to talk truth.
But I
Right.
think it just took a lot of people came out with it, but they were I did in the very beginning of some of the things that had happened to me, and I thought, oh, everyone's going to think I'm
Yeah,
absolutely
but
crazy.
you're 2 or 3 years delayed. You were supposed to do this 2 or 3
Yes,
years
I
ago.
was. That's,
And you didn't listen.
I didn't, no.
And you ended up coming here as a guest on the show.
I did.
And you stayed.
Yeah.
You and Dawn the book, even Dawn, his one, Dawn G here, she didn't listen. 4 years. She
But
didn't
it's
listen.
timing, although I believe there's no time on the other side, but we're here in physicality, and my time was obviously 2.5 years ago. I mean, we'll never know, but I know that was the time I was meant to be here.
Timing's one thing, doing it is
Doing
another.
is another, yeah.
So it's been an interesting experience. And Jay has been with us through all the events that we hold in here. He's been with me to sponsors bars we've been to. We've been all over on different shoots. He's been everywhere.
Yeah.
Always been there, always was reliable, always has been reliable to do whatever needs done. He had the show also with us, that he was teaching people how to draw. And he thinks that I can do what he does. I can't do what he does. Ain't even close.
A lot of different things. So I'm looking forward to your show today at 2:30. It's going to be fantastic. Frank, as always, thank you for what you do. We don't often say thank you enough. And Frank won the hat in our drawing, which is pretty cool. The
Yeah, he won the red hat.
Yo, man, I saw you wear
have
a
that.
hat. You were pimping out nice.
I was, hey.
You were
He's
doing
looking
nice.
good.
He's sitting there with that hat. I'm going to tell you, did you sell books that day?
No, I didn't sell any books that day.
Or maybe people got afraid of you.
Probably.
That was a little scary. That hat looks good on you, though.
All right, we're going to throw this over to Michelle and Paul. Claire's running a few minutes late.
All right,
so I
so
want to
let's-
kick it over to Michelle and Paul. You have a new show starting today, which is going to air again on Monday on True Oldies at 8 p.m.
Correct.
It's an entertainment show. So Paul Berman and Michelle Chin. You guys tell us a little bit about or a lot about the show for the next few minutes.
Take it away, Paul.
Keep the green light on, Paul.
Okay, there we go. Thank you very much for having us. Michelle Chin is my co-host. My name is Paul Berman. I'm the producer of the Unique Talent Showcase, where we have oldies, songs, unsigned bands, new bands, and it's going to be very, very exciting. It's our first taping here at Brooklyn Cafe.
Yeah. Today we're going to be diving back into the 60s.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm wearing my rocker chick.
We're showing
outfit.
videos of
Yeah.
Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, and so on, and a few new bands that the people have not seen, have not heard of. And it's going to be very exciting. I'm very, very happy to be here.
I'm very excited. I have a sultry new voice for my radio debut tonight.
Michelle lost her voice last night, as you could probably tell.
Were you singing last night, Michelle?
I wasn't singing. I was trying to rest my voice as much as I
she was
could.
yelling at her son. I think that's how it happened.
Well, you know, the funny thing is that Michelle sings. We know that. But what I didn't know until the research came out is that Paul has some tracks that he sang.
Surprise.
And you were in a band, Paul?
I sang with a couple of different bands in Costa Rica and Nicaragua. That would have been the Tomcats of Costa Rica, the Intruders in Nicaragua. And,
hold on. The Intruders and the Tomcats were
it's
real
different
bands
Intruders,
here.
Fred.
Okay, you're scaring me here.
It's the Intruders
Okay.
Costa Rican style, if you will.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
And Charlie Lopez is my pride and joy. That was in Costa Rica. He plays at Z Lounge in Playa Coco, where my son is. He'll be 17 in December. And
do you have a lot of ties in South America?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
So you did most of
specifically Nicaragua and Costa Rica, living
Really?
there for 16 years plus.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you speak
I'm only back
Spanish
in
and
the States a
everything?
few years, and I've had this crazy feeling of resurrecting my TV show, the Unique Talent Showcase, where we produced 400 music videos, some famous and mostly unsigned bands, unheard of bands, which is my true, what's the word I'm looking for? My true dream is to find the next Mick Jagger, Billy Idol, and so on and so forth, and get a top #1 hit in the radio ratings and stuff like that.
Do you have anyone coming in today?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any bands coming in today?
Not today, not for the pilot. It was
Okay, good.
kind of last minute. I'm resurrecting again the TV show from days of old. Liz Derringer, by the way, was the host. Hi, Liz. How are you? Her husband at the time was Rick Derringer from Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo and Hang On Sloopy. And Liz was with me a few years, and she really opened the doors to meet all the stars and celebrities. It was honestly tribute to Liz.
Very cool. It's
Now,
gonna be a
where
great
did
show.
you air your TV show? Was it in Manhattan?
It was on Manhattan Cable Television prior to MTV.
And what year was that?
I want to say 79, 80 till
Yeah,
about 86.
Okay, I lived in Manhattan at that time. I remember Manhattan Cable.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out where, because I know that I've seen some of the things you've done. I just can't put my finger on it because these
You
were
know, it
new
was
bands.
before the internet, Fred.
No, I'm talking
It's
about
hard to
regular
find.
TV.
I can't even find the
Regular
stuff that I
TV?
did.
You can probably pull
Manhattan
archives up.
Cable was a regular television
Yeah,
channel.
yeah.
I used to watch it
It
all
may
the
be on
time.
YouTube. They may have popped some of the videos up there.
I'm sorry?
They may have popped some of the videos up on YouTube.
I'm trying to get the archives. Manhattan Cable Television was bought, I believe, by Cablevision many
Yes.
years ago.
Yes.
And that being said, all my tapes were, they turned into snow. They got demagnetized moving from New York City to Florida. Every tape, every master I did, 400 of them, demagnetized. I tried each of them, put them in the machine. Snow, nothing. And I lost everything. And I'll tell you, I had stuff that was just phenomenal.
Wow.
Well, Manhattan Cable, when I went to NYU, I lived in Manhattan. Manhattan Cable was the channel we used to watch.
One
and
of my
then
best
they were bought out.
One of my best friends, Eugene Perowitz. Hi, Eugene. He's trying to get me the archives. The FCC must have an archive of all their work that's aired on microfilm, if you will. And we're trying to get back my a few years of videos. And if I get that, the whole music industry is going to explode. I promise you.
Amazing. Michelle, you excited?
I am so excited. I've been waiting for this for my whole life, I think.
Are you riding the audio? Can you make her audio louder?
How's my audio?
Oh,
Do I sound like...
She could be heard on the mics. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
They got it.
She
We're going to
has-
let Michelle rest her voice.
What's the name of that actress that talks that way? It's an
Well,
actress. Back in the
Lauren
day.
Bacall.
Lauren
or,
Bacall.
Ah, she knows.
She has the Lauren Bacall voice.
And I know Michelle has done things with Frank, and you guys have done a lot of Florida Arts Network and a lot of commingling within the arts and movie industry. So it's, it's nice to have everyone here together.
It's wonderful to see everyone.
Nice. All right, we've got Medicare Claire on. So Michelle, you rest your voice. Tune in Monday to watch the pilot episode of the show, as well as you can hear it on True Oldies South Florida, 8 p.m. So 95.3, 96.9, 106.9, 95.3, a whole lot of places.
You want to take a break or you want to go straight through?
We're going to go straight to Claire because she's running late. We're running the way we're running, so we're going to kick it right over to Medicare Claire. All right, we've got Claire Goyette. She is the marvelous Miss Medicare and busy, busy lady. 2 more days. Actually, tomorrow ends open enrollment. It's been crazy, and the biggest thing we're going to talk about is medications and the $2,000 cap. So let's do it.
We have the last 2 days of annual enrollment. It ends tomorrow. And even though we talked a few weeks ago about the $2,000 max out of pocket on the medications for this year, and it's a great improvement, but $2,000 is still a lot of money for some people.
Yes.
So and the way most of the plans have a $590 deductible. So the first month, you're paying that $590 deductible plus 25% of the cost of the medication. So it can be a big expense, especially if you're on a Xarelto or a Jardiance or an Eliquis or Ozempic or Mounjaro. Any of those injectables, they get very expensive, so it's hard for citizens to afford it. So I have had to go take my clients and introduce them to other ways to get their medications through either the Canadian Med Store, who's located here in the state of Florida. They're up in Zephyr Hills. They source worldwide for their medications. They're able to get branded or generic. Then Mark Cuban has cost plus drugs. No insurance on either side. So if you're getting a drug that is in tiers 3, 4, 5, or 6, that would trigger the deductible. If you use one of these resources, you're not going to have to pay that deductible. And it's a big, big savings.
So it's a big savings, Claire, because their prices are less and you're not even tapping into the $2,000.
Correct. You're not tapping into the $2,000. There are no outside insurance costs. So it is, when Mark Cuban says it's cost plus, it is. It is the cost of the drug.
That's
And
incredible.
it's
And where's
very,
it coming
I was
from?
looking.
It's the same medication. It's not,
Same
different
medication.
pharmaceutical company or
Generic?
Some are generics. One of the eye drops I was looking for yesterday is called Lambigan, and it was through the prescription plan, the insurance plan. It was almost $80, and it triggered the deductible. It was $29 on Cost Plus.
Wow.
So big difference.
And they ship directly to the patient.
Shipped directly to the patient, correct? Yes.
So does that
And
change?
what's
Does
Go
that
ahead.
change the plan that you would recommend?
Correct? It does. Where someone may, if they don't use an alternative source for medications, then they would probably take a more expensive plan, which will either reduce the deductible or sometimes eliminate the deductible. So it's kind of like looking with, when you're looking at a mortgage and you're buying down points on a mortgage, you're still paying for it. You're paying for it up front and, just to reduce your cost over time. So if you're buying down the deductible on your prescription plan, you're going to pay a higher premium all year long. So,
A lot of
but
things
these
going.
non-insurance sources have been incredibly good. Amazon Pharmacy does use insurance, so it's not the deal it professes to be.
Oh, that's interesting.
So we have to do a lot of research, and you can use and I say alternative choices. You can, if you get prescribed a medication during the year, and say you've been on a plan and you didn't trigger the deductible, and all of a sudden you're getting a new medication and it does, search out another resource. Search out Cost Plus or search out the Canadian Med Store. And what we do with our clients who choose to go to the Canadian Med Store is we do an introduction email so that the client meets Amber or Carla, or Jonathan, or contacts there. And so they establish the relationship, and then the Canadian Med Store can go to the physician and directly get the prescription. So there's no work on the patient's point, the client's efforts.
And you help facilitate all of this.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
Claire, I was asked to ask you, so when the 2 days goes by and people wake up, if they want to make a change, they cannot. They have to live with what they have for the next year. Is that correct?
Well, we do have special enrollment periods. And I can go through the list of, there are typically about 25 to 30 different special enrollment periods or special enrollment triggers that would allow you to enroll in a plan.
Throughout the year?
Even down to the fact that there could be, say, Hurricane Milton hit when annual enrollment was starting. So then a disaster SEP or FEMA SEP could allow someone to make a change.
Because I was
So,
I,
but
I
that's
was
the,
I was
Go ahead.
told there's a lot of people that go away for the holidays, and what ends up happening is that they aren't back until January. And then the bottom line is they would like to talk to you, but they're not in the country. And if they want to make changes, I said, well, I'll ask. Because if there are these bumps in the road that you can change, that means you could change your plan?
depends upon what the circumstances are.
Okay.
And you can read about open enrollment on the Medicare.gov website. Open enrollment is for Medicare Advantage members only, and it runs January 1st through March 31st. We're not allowed to promote it. We're not allowed to advertise it. It is an opportunity for Medicare Advantage plan members to elect a change. They can also drop their Medicare Advantage plan and return to original Medicare and enroll in a Medicare drug plan, prescription drug plan.
So that's starting January 1st.
Correct.
So if you got to just know your dates. You got to call Claire, the marvelous Miss Medicare, and she'll walk you through everything you need to with open enrollment. When things change in January that we're not officially allowed to talk about, she can help you make some changes also. The $2,000 cap is tremendous. What about, this is for 2025. Do you think anything's going to
Correct.
change with the new administration?
Well, most likely. most likely.
But whatever it is now will hold its value for 2025.
It is supposed to, yes.
Okay.
It's supposed to.
It's
So,
supposed to.
and this was a very interesting enrollment season. There were a lot of changes. And for the first time that I can remember, there were a number of companies that dropped plans. They completely dropped them. They sunsetted them. They didn't crosswalk the clients over to the next best thing. They just dropped them. So what happens is if those people who lost their coverage do not make a change, they are returned to original Medicare without a drug plan, and they could start incurring a penalty, a Part D penalty.
Wow.
Yes.
And for all of my friends that are 62, 63, 64, that decide they want to dip early.
You can't dip into Medicare early.
Well,
Social Security.
No, you can start your Social Security early,
Social
but
Security.
Medicare is age 65.
Yes. There are people that they saw the show and they were asking me. They didn't quite believe me until they looked it up, but that $2, $1 penalty over 20, I think it's $22,896 if I'm not mistaken, can cost people a lot of money. So I would call.
That was the Part D penalty, the Part D drug penalty?
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
it's 1% per month. So it's about 35 cents a month added to your prescription plan. So you say someone who hasn't had drug coverage for a number of years, that penalty is going to show up.
Yeah.
And you also can help individualized insurers who are not quite on Medicare yet. This gap.
Under
you have a plan
65,
that you can
yes.
help.
Correct.
And what does that
correct.
look like?
The marketplace coverage, that open enrollment period runs through January 15th.
Did we lose her?
She may have froze.
She froze.
All right.
All right.
All right. So contact Claire Goyette, Marvelous Miss Medicare.
And then
you
there
can
are
find
also
her.
other
Oh, there she is. All right. We got her
insurance
back.
companies. Yeah, there are other insurance companies that do offer choices that are not through healthcare.gov.
All right. So what's the best way for people to contact you?
Claire at Absolute Best Insurance or 561-703-7463.
All right, so you've got 2 days for open enrollment, and you can also meet Claire right here live on December 13th. She's going to be joining us for the fundraiser. So
For the
meet her
happy
live and
for
in
our
person.
holiday.
Awesome.
Yes, can't wait to be there.
So we're excited to have you. Maybe you'll have a little bit more breathing room, but it's been amazing
Yes.
learning so many things.
Yes.
All right, Claire, thank you so much. Have a wonderful
All right,
weekend.
thank you.
Pace yourself the
You
next 2
too.
days.
Happy
Thank
Friday
you.
afternoon.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Excellent.
Right, a lot of good information about living your passion. And you know what, Claire, I can't think of anyone who loves what she does like Claire does. She loves helping people. She loves finding the right programs, the right plans, the right Medicare,
She knows what she's doing. That's the important.
right? And she loves this.
You should see the arguments I have because the stuff she tells me, I tell other people, and they don't believe it. And you have to go to the videotape, and I go to Dr. Google, and it's right there in black and white, exactly what she said.
You know, I think the theme of today's show is about living your passion. If you love what you do, what do they say? If you love what you do, you never go to work a day in your life. And Claire loves what she does. Allison is now loving what she does. Sally and Jake, we know what they love. And Frank,
Loves
it's
what he
amazing.
does.
The gift from the angels comes through Frank and Sally every day. And Michelle loves entertainment. And also, if you like some good barbecue, check out Smoke BBQ down on Federal Highway in A1A, in Fort Lauderdale. Amazing. And thank you for your gift cards for the raffle also. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amazing. Amazing barbecue. You like barbecue? Mm-hmm. All right, so check out Smoke Barbecue. Ready to wrap this up on this Friday? We had a lot of things to put in place for the
Yes.
next couple shows.
Absolutely.
All right, have a wonderful afternoon, a wonderful weekend, everyone. Stay safe, be kind to each other. Tune in today at 2:30 for Inside the Artist's Mind with Jay Harmon, Sally Bernard, and Frank A. Ruffolo. And then Monday, you're going to get to see what we record today. Right.
Unless we get to see it live at 3 o'clock.
You never know. All right, have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday, 9 a.m. drive time.
Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.